Okay, strap in, everybody. This deep dive, we're going into a world, well, where magic is real.
A world with a nirvana.
Right, a chosen one.
Tasked with protecting the whole world.
The whole shebang. Yeah, well, the story we're looking at, it follows Alexandra. She seems like a regular girl.
At least at first.
Yeah, at first.
Huh.
But she's about to find out she's anything but ordinary. And we've got it all, excerpts, diary entries, everything.
It really is fascinating how the sources set up this contrast, you know, between her normal life, going to school, and this whole hidden magical world.
It's like one of those superhero origin stories, right?
Exactly.
But instead of radioactive spiders, there's like these crazy wind gusts.
Uncontrollable bursts.
Yeah, they're causing all sorts of trouble for her at school.
Making her an outcast.
Yeah, and people are spreading rumors, and those are just making the bullying even worse.
Absolutely. And it's not just the external conflict she's dealing with.
Right.
Her diary entries, they reveal a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Frustration. Imagine suddenly you have these powers, but you don't understand them.
And you can't control them.
Exactly. And they're making your life harder, not easier. It's no wonder she feels so isolated.
Reading about her Uncle Blythe trying to help, it's really heartbreaking. He obviously loves her, wants to protect her.
Of course.
But when it comes to these strange abilities, he's just as clueless as she is.
It's that feeling, of helplessness. When you want to fix something, you want to help someone you care about, but you just can't.
Exactly. And then Agitaski shows up.
The bus driver.
The bus driver.
But he's so much more than that.
Yeah. Drops this bombshell, tells Alexandra and her uncle about these crouchers.
People with magical abilities tied to the elements.
And a school, Majestic, just for them.
A whole hidden world, like a secret society hiding in plain sight.
Whoa. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Explains a lot about Alexandra's struggles, right? Gives her a place where she might actually belong. But it also opens up, a ton of questions, what are crouchers, really? What's their magic like?
Well, it seems like they're categorized by the element they control.
Okay.
So you've got fire, water, earth, air.
Oh, so Alexandra with her wind gusts.
She's an air croucher.
An air croucher.
And as for Majestic, well, they describe it as this huge castle, like Hogwarts almost, with different dorms for each type of croucher.
That sounds amazing.
It's where they learn to control, to hone their magical abilities.
I'm picturing, these soaring towers, a secret library, maybe even a magical creature or two roaming the halls.
Who knows?
But Blythe, her uncle, he's hesitant to send her away.
Of course.
He's worried. We learn about a past trauma. Alexandra disappeared once, and they found her unconscious.
It's understandable, his hesitation. He's scared of losing her again. Afraid of this world he doesn't understand. But it goes deeper than that, right? It raises questions about what it means to have magical abilities. What responsibility comes with that? Is it safer to hide those powers, trying to blend in? Or is it better to embrace them, find others like you, even if it means facing danger?
A dilemma a lot of people in Alexandra's world probably face, huh?
Probably.
And in her case, well, these powers, they aren't exactly subtle. Can't really ignore a windstorm following you around.
No, you can't. So off to Majestic she goes.
Leaving behind everything familiar.
For a place full of wonder. A place where she might finally understand who she really is.
And what a place it is. The sources describe this blend of traditional and modern.
Oh, interesting.
A grand castle full of history and magic. But the students are comparing powers to anime characters.
Using technology to understand magic.
Yeah. It makes this fantastical world feel a little more grounded, right? A little more relatable. Even in a world full of magic, there's still technology, still pop culture.
Makes you realize everyone's got something to learn, something to teach.
Like when Alexandra has to explain GPS to Agitaski.
Even seasoned magic users need help sometimes.
Right. But beyond that initial wonder, there's this sense that Majestic is serious business.
Rigorous training.
Yeah. They're not just learning spells, they're doing martial arts to enhance their magic.
And personification magic, blending in with regular humans.
It's like a magical spy academy.
Preparing them for a world where their abilities could be a gift, but also a huge burden.
And speaking of burdens, there's this darkness lurking,
Silvalakis.
The Forbidden Forest. A student vanished there a year ago.
A place of untamed magic. Even experienced crouchers are afraid of it.
Okay, that's ominous. It's like the author's saying, hey, there are things here, forces, that are way more dangerous than just teenage drama or messing up a spell. Makes you wonder what happened to that missing student. What other secrets this magical world is hiding.
For sure. It sets the stage for bigger conflicts, deeper dangers. And it's not just the forest. There's Achilles, another magic school.
Oh yeah, Majestic's biggest rival.
Like a magical college rivalry, but instead of football, they compete in Tapatikailo.
this insane magical sport played on flying carpets.
Quidditch on steroids, you could say, with strategy, spells, and a lot of potential for mid-air collisions.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I bet. But it's a chance for Alexandra to test herself,
Oh.
to face her anxieties.
She's thrown into this high-stakes game surrounded by talented players.
A coach who's not exactly known for being patient,
It's trial by fire.
literally and figuratively, forces her to grow, to adapt.
In this world, it's not enough to just control your powers. You have to learn to work with others, to strategize, to perform under pressure.
Yeah, she's come a long way. From an outcast to a student at a magical academy.
Facing challenges, making friends.
Discovering this world, this incredible but dangerous world.
And this is just the beginning.
Right. What other secrets does Majestic hold? What's hiding in Silvalakis? And what's going to happen to Alexandra as she learns more about her powers, about her destiny as Nirvana?
Those are questions we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive. We'll delve into the darkness growing in this magical world, the mysteries surrounding Alexandra's past, and the true nature of the threat she's destined to face. Back again for more of Alexandra's story. Remember, Majestic's not just a school.
Right. It's like a miniature version of the bigger conflicts happening in the magical world.
Exactly.
That Forbidden Forest, Silvalakis, the rivalry with Achilles, they're hints that something's not quite right, something darker.
And then there's the Lord of Shadow.
From Alexandra's past.
Looming over everything.
Yeah, he seems to be at the center of it all.
He is a fascinating character. So much mystery, so much danger surrounding him. Described as this ancient entity
With corrupted magic.
pulling strings, manipulating everyone from the shadows.
The way the sources describe him, it's creepy. Alexandra starts having these nightmares.
Visions.
Yeah, glimpses of his power,
Yeah.
his plans. They're really unsettling. Like, there's this one scene, she's in this peaceful meadow.
Sounds nice.
It is, until she sees these images of her parents. But they're twisted, grotesque.
It shows you how he can corrupt, how he can distort, take something beautiful, something innocent, and twist it into something sinister. He's a threat, not just physically, but to your mind, too. Preying on your fears, your weaknesses.
And he's not just targeting Alexandra. There are attacks on Majestic other magic schools, too.
all bearing his mark.
It's clear he's building power, getting ready for something big, something terrifying. But the good news is, Alexandra's not alone in this fight.
The Nirvana Guard.
A secret organization dedicated to protecting Nirvana. And we know now that's Alexandra.
Her mother was the previous Nirvana. The Guard, they failed to protect her, led to her death. Now they carry that weight, that guilt, determined to make sure history doesn't repeat itself.
That's a lot to carry. It's like they're fighting for Alexandra, but also for redemption, for their past mistakes.
They're pushing her, training her, making sure she can master her powers, ready for a battle unlike anything she's faced before.
But it's more than just physical training, right?
Absolutely. The Guard's teaching her about leadership, strategy, the importance of understanding your enemy, helping her see the big picture, what's truly at stake.
And that's got to be crucial when you're up against someone as cunning as the Lord of Shadow. I mean, the sources suggest he's infiltrated Majestic.
Using a student, a pawn in his game.
To attack Alexandra. To steal more of her power.
It makes you question everything. Who can Alexandra trust? Who's really on her side?
Right, it's like a magical spy thriller with the fate of the world hanging in the balance.
And all this while she's dealing with her own internal struggles. Remember that dizziness she's been experiencing? Yeah.
It's connected to her Nirvana powers.
Oh.
Her body, it's struggling to contain this immense power inside her, like a pressure cooker about to explode. And now, on top of everything else, she has to convince her friends to share their power with her.
Hold on, her friends have powers too.
It turns out, Alexandra's parents, they were afraid of the full force of Nirvana, so they divided it among their closest friends' children.
That's a twist. So Alexandra's friends, they're like a mini Nirvana squad.
Precisely. It explains why her powers have been so unstable, and it changes everything in terms of her relationships with her friends.
Just getting good.
Not only does she have to face this world-ending threat, but she also has to navigate friendships, trust, and convince her friends to essentially merge their powers with hers.
Wow.
It really highlights what it means to have these abilities, the burdens, the responsibilities. These teenagers, they're suddenly thrust into a situation where their choices, they could literally determine the fate of the world. And to make matters worse, the Lord of Shadow's not making it easy, attacking on multiple fronts, manipulating people, spreading fear and chaos, like he's playing chess, and everyone else is just trying to figure out the rules.
And in this game, knowledge is power. The sources show Alexandra she's hungry for information, digging into ancient texts, searching for lost knowledge, trying to understand the Lord of Shadow, his motives.
It's like she's realizing that Being Nirvana, it's not just about how strong you are, it's about strategy. Knowing how to use your power. She's not just reacting anymore, she's taking charge.
And you see that in how she interacts with her friends. She's not just leaning on them for support, she's asking for their input. She values their unique skills, their perspectives. She's becoming a true leader, inspiring them to rise to the challenge.
It's not your typical chosen one story.
No.
It's about community, working together, finding strength in each other.
Absolutely. And as the story continues, those bonds will be tested. Alexandra and her friends will face betrayals, uncover secrets, and ultimately confront the Lord of Shadow. But before we get to that epic showdown, what are your thoughts? What stands out to you about Alexandra's journey so far?
Honestly, I'm just blown away by how complex this world is. The characters. Ancient prophecies, secret powers, magical sports, secret organizations, and these teenagers, they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders. It's a wild ride.
The author's done an amazing job weaving together so many different storylines, developing the characters, building this whole world. And at the heart of it all, there's this theme of hope versus despair, choosing to fight for what's right, even when it seems impossible.
That's a powerful message. And it's not just fantasy. It's a reminder that even when things are tough, we can make a difference. We can stand up for what we believe in. We can find strength in our friends and our communities.
Well said. And with that, let's move on to the final part of our deep dive. We'll see how Alexandra's journey ends, witness the showdown with the Lord of Shadow, the ultimate test of her power, her leadership, her friendships.
We're back, and things are about to get serious. Last we left off, the Lord of Shadow's going all out.
A full-scale assault.
Yeah, on the entire magical world. And Alexandra's realizing to even stand a chance, she's got to team up.
Unite with her friends.
Yeah. Combine their Nirvana power.
The tension's really building in these final chapters. You can feel the urgency.
It's a race against time.
The Lord of Shadow's closing in.
And the fate of the world's hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
It's a far cry from that early sense of wonder at Majestic.
The innocence is gone.
Yeah, shattered,
Yeah.
replaced by this harsh reality where it's all about survival. And in the middle of all this, Alexandra's got to convince her friends to share their powers.
Willingly.
Yeah, I mean, they're still coming to grips with their own abilities, and it could be dangerous.
A big ask.
Huge. But they don't even hesitate. They trust her.
They understand what's at stake.
They're choosing to stand together, even if it means facing their fears.
It's powerful.
It really shows the strength of their bond.
The unity that's been there all along.
And it's not just them. The whole Majestic community's rising up.
Students, teachers.
Even the groundskeepers.
Yeah.
Everyone's using their abilities to hold back the darkness.
An inspiring moment.
It shows that even when the odds are stacked against you, people are willing to fight for what they believe in, to protect their own, to stand up for what's right.
It's more than just a symbolic gesture.
Right. The sources describe these amazing feats of magic, massive shields, manipulating the elements, even teleporting students to safety. So the whole school becomes this giant magical resistance force.
They're putting their training to good use.
Years of it. They learn more than just theory. They learn practical skills, how to work together, how to adapt.
Crucial skills.
Especially when you're dealing with an enemy who fights dirty.
The Lord of Shadow.
Yeah. And his plan, well, the sources reveal he's using blood magic, corrupted blood magic,
To pull an asteroid from the sky.
and crash it into Earth.
An ambitious plan. Terrifying, but ambitious. It shows how ruthless he is. How global this threat truly is. He's not just after power. He wants to destroy everything.
That takes things to a whole new level. It's not just about Majestic anymore or even the magical world. It's about saving the planet.
And time is running out.
Alexandra and her friends are facing their biggest challenge yet.
They're training.
Their bonds,
Their combined Nirvana power.
all put to the ultimate test. They're fighting monsters, corrupted magic users, and trying to stop this ritual before it's too late.
The stakes couldn't be higher.
So the final confrontation, it's got to be epic, right? What happens? Does Alexandra unleash some ultimate Nirvana power? Do her friends discover hidden abilities? Give us the details.
It's more than just raw power. It's a carefully planned operation, combining Alexandra's leadership, her friends' unique skills, the guidance of the Nirvana Guard. They're not just fighting blindly, they're working together, using their strengths to overcome the Lord of Shadow's defenses.
So it's brains and brawn, magic and strategy.
Exactly.
But in the end, it comes down to Alexandra and the Lord of Shadow. What's that like?
It's a battle of wills, a clash of ideologies. The Lord of Shadow represents fear, despair. the dark side of magic. Alexandra, she represents hope, unity, the belief that magic can be a force for good.
Good versus evil with a magical twist.
Right. And as the battle reaches its peak, Alexandra does tap into the full power of Nirvana, but it's not beams of light or explosions. It's more subtle, more about control, understanding.
So what happens? How does she beat him?
This wave of pure energy flows from her, disrupts the Lord of Shadows ritual, cuts him off from the blood magic, forces him to retreat, defeated. But it's not a perfect victory.
What do you mean?
There were losses along the way, sacrifices made. And the sources, they hint that the Lord of Shadow might not be gone for good. Evil has a way of coming back.
Okay, that's a little ominous. But it also sounds like there could be more adventures to come.
Possibly. The story ends with Alexandra back at Majestic, a hero. But she carries the weight of what she's been through, the knowledge that the fight's never truly over. She's grown so much, stronger, wiser.
So what happens next? What does the future hold for Alexandra, for the magical world?
We can only imagine. Will she keep training, preparing for the Lord of Shadow's return? Will she use her power to reshape the magical world, make it better? Or maybe she'll try to find a balance, a bridge between the ordinary and the extraordinary. The possibilities are endless.
It's a fitting end to a journey that started with this girl, struggling to control her powers, discovering a whole new world. She's faced so much, lost so much, but she came out of it a symbol of hope, of resilience.
A reminder that we all have the potential to make a difference, to fight for what we believe in, to overcome even the toughest challenges.
That's a message worth remembering. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another adventure.